Yo, what is good, YouTube? In today's video, I got y'all the new top 5 meta loadouts you should be using. So if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe with notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so for the first gun we're going to be getting into here today is going to be the Kilo 141, pretty much your favorite zero recoil laser beam AR that you can use. A couple of different ways to build this thing out, but I'll give you guys the most effective ways to build it out. By the way, this is indeed the forged camo from MW3 swapped over to this. I'll have a camo swap glitch video or short coming out here and show you guys how to do it, because it's very, very simple and it looks really good considering there's a bunch of trash BO6 camos and a bunch of really good ones for MW2 and MW3. So first thing in here, optic section, pretty much with any AR, there is a few different things you can do, whether it be if you want to run sort of like a red dot sight. Generally speaking, what I recommend is this Volzinski reflex. This is really, really good. I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but that's what I call it. That is absolutely wonderful. I really, really enjoy running this. You can run this on, of course, Rebirth, on Big Map Verdansk. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're running, what map you're playing. You can use this and be truly effective. So I'd really recommend for you guys to go for this. Otherwise, you can go down here and run something like a Kepler red dot, which is pretty good. It's a little bit more personal preference in the optic side of things here. And then probably about the max I go for is this Willis 3 times and the Jason Armory 2X. Any of these sights are going to work interchangeably with how I'm going to show you how to build this. So really go for whatever you think is best, what's most comfortable to you. Obviously, in the optic side of things, comfort is going to be like better than obviously using something like, if you feel better using the Willis or the Prisma Tech versus the Jason Armory or the, Volzinski, then you're probably going to perform a little bit better using the Prisma Tech, but I don't really know why you'd use this anyways over the other ones. So for me, what I'm going to go for is just this reflex right here, as I absolutely love it. So let's move on. After that, muzzle section, two options in here essentially. One being the compensator. If you want lower recoil, you guys can go ahead and run the compensator, and this will really help you out. Sometimes I'll even find myself, because even though it has low recoil, I'll find myself still wanting to run the compensator over something like the monolithic suppressor, which is going to be your other option, just because it's like, I do enjoy having a gun that feels like it legitimately is a straight up laser beam. So I would say the compensator here is going to be my personal pick right now, though I might just switch back to the mono suppressor. Kind of test it out in the firing range when you guys get the full build down, and you can see for yourself what works a little bit better. But the mono or the compensator, you really can't go wrong with either of them. Barrel section, you guys can take a look here at the detailed statistics. Basically, what you guys are going to want to run, largely speaking, is going to be the reinforced barrel. You can see if we take a look at the gain twist barrel here, our damage at effective range, which matters immensely for an assault rifle. Well, basically everything in the game, it does matter. But when you're taking a look at something like this is going to be your primary long range weapon, having 35.6 meters is pretty trash. Not very good. Bullet velocity is wonderful, 1232, that's awesome. But overall, you want to go for the reinforced barrel because this gets you out to that 44.4, which is much more acceptable. It's right around the range of the Cypher, which is still a pretty good AR, by the way. And of course, you're still over 1,000 meters per second in bullet velocity, which can be increased, both of these things, by using the mono suppressor over the compensator. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you want more range and damage, you can run the mono suppressor and not the compensator, and your stats will look better. So we're gonna slap on the reinforced barrel here though. Underbarrel section, we're going to throw on the vertical foregrip, horizontal recoil control, recoil stabilization. Does exactly what it should. You don't need anything more than this, and of course, like the compensator, and then that's going to be that. And for the magazine, we're going to go throw on extended mag 2, not extended mag 3. I don't find as much benefit running extended mag 3 here. You probably can get away with it. I just think it slows you down quite substantially, versus this gets you a little bit on the ADS and sprint to fire side of things, whereas this gets you like on a whole bunch of things and more of those other things, which we don't really want. Also, having 60 rounds in the mag is great. I'm a 60-round mag kind of guy, so for me, 60 in assault rifle, that's great. That's awesome. We don't need really any more than that. If this thing didn't have a bunch of movement penalties and all these other things, then we'd probably go for this. But because it does, we don't want to go for that. So we're going to slap that on there, and that's basically going to be your full build. Like I said, keep in mind, you can switch out the compensator for the mono suppressor and have some better statistics, or you could even go ahead and, run the compensator and then maybe, let's say, run a different sight, something like this. pretty much a variety of ways to build this out. It's going to be great either way. This video is sponsored by MMOEXP, home of the best Black Ops 6 and Warzone services for cheap bot lobbies and fast camo unlocks, which you can go right over to the site and use code CHUCK at checkout for 6% off. Next up, let's take a look here at one of everyone's favorite SMGs right now, the C9. Very, very highly used. A lot of people really like this thing. This is, of course, Obsidian camo swapped onto it. I think every gun I'm showing you guys right now, I've made sure to do a camo swap, just because I think the camos are so much better with these other games right now. I don't know why we don't have any good event camos for BO6. I think they've definitely dropped the ball on that. But let's show you guys how to build this thing. So a couple ways. We're going to show you guys probably the most effective way, which is going to be for close range. If you want an SMG that's better at sniper sport, you want to go for something else. This is basically a close range. So if you want something that's going to help with the recoil control, you go throw in a compensator here. But honestly, I really don't think that's going to be all that beneficial. We're just going to go and throw on the long barrel, which is going to increase our damage range to 15.5 meters. Obviously, this would ideally have, like, you know, I shouldn't say ideally, but pre-patch is closer to about that 18 to 20 range. So you could probably even get away with running the reinforced barrel. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I even see guys on big map, you know, I just call it big map, but Verdansk running the gain twist barrel. I think that's just because obviously bigger distances and you're going to feel more of that bullet velocity drop off as opposed to the damage drop off. So what I'd say is if you're playing something like Verdansk, potentially give this a try. But for most people out there, I think the long barrel is going to be more effective. After that under barrel section, this is where we got two good options. First one being the vertical foregrip. The MP5 or C9, whatever you want to call it, basically it's got very, very minimal recoil until you start getting to that extended period of fire. It's like 10 to 15 shots down, you know, into the magazine, where you start having like this jiggle back and forth, or it wants to go side to side, kind of hard to control. So the vertical foregrip is going to help you out with that. It's going to almost eliminate that entirely. So that'll be great for a lot of guys out there. Otherwise, if you don't really care about that too much and you want a little bit more of that sprinting movement speed and still good recoil control, throw on the Ranger foregrip and this will be good to go. So I'd say, I mean, you can run really whatever on either map. I mean, I've ran the vertical foregrip on Rebirth. I mean, I've ran the Ranger foregrip. Just choose what suits you best, like in your personal play style and your own skill level with recoil control. Because that obviously matters way more than what I'm telling you to run. If one feels better, then go for that. You know, it's not going to make or break your build. Next up, magazine section. I'd say go for Extended Mag 2. If you guys will notice down here, there is a fifth option. This is the 10 mil auto 30 round mag. It's supposed to kind of represent what the MP5 had in OG Warzone 1. And this right here, I'm going to tell you guys, it's good, but I wouldn't say it's going to be way better by any means than having an Extended Mag 2 or an Extended Mag 1. I realistically think the TTK is just about the same. So with that being said, only having 30 rounds in the mag, not that great, but you can definitely test it out for yourselves. It is part of the Black Ops Tribute event. It is reward number 5. So this will just kind of randomly unlock. Just kind of keep an eye out for it. But I recommend go for an Extended Mag 2. That's going to be the move right here. Probably stay away from this if you're trying to be like hard meta as opposed to just experiment around. I had fun with it, but overall, I think I'm going to stick with Extended Mag 2. Rear grip section here, we're going to go throw on the ergonomic grip. You guys could go back and forth between the ergonomic and the commando. Both of these are going to be pretty solid. Sometimes I feel like depending on the SMG, I want a bit more of this slide, you know, slide to fire, versus some have really kind of piss poor ADS speed. And I feel like the commando is going to help you a little bit more with that. So this I feel perfectly fine. We're going to the ergonomic grip on it, so I'm just going to go for it. But these are going to be the two things basically I pick between. Last thing is stock section. I'm going to go for the balanced stock right here. I just personally like the balanced stock. I know some people are going to, you know, die by their infiltrator stock. I've ran it, but I feel like more often than not, I really enjoy the balanced stock. It just kind of gives me that all around good feeling. I don't know how to explain it other than that I feel like I am more efficient using this gun with the balance as opposed to the infiltrator. So choose either which one. Both I've switched back and forth between, but I think the balance is my favorite. Just kind of stick with that. So you guys can run this exact build right here, or you can even take this off the ergonomic, go for the muzzle, throw on like a compensator right there, and that'll be great. And you can even switch this out if you want to be even more little big map oriented and go for that, and that's going to be a great build as well. So basically like 3 builds right there for you. Next up, let's get you guys a build here for the HDR sniper rifle. I mean, this is the #1 sniper in Warzone right now. If you're not using the HDR, especially at distance, especially on Verdansk, you're doing it wrong. This is that beautiful Orion camo. I love how they updated it right now. It looks so good on this, I'm not gonna lie. So let's show you guys the best build. And you will notice mine's only level 22. So you don't have to be a very high level to have this thing be like peak effectiveness, which is really, really nice. So let's show you guys how to do it, how to build this thing out. First thing, mono suppressor keeps you out the mini-map, obviously, but also greatly helps your bullet velocity and your damage range. Really nice. I believe this has the infinite one-shot headshot, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I'm gonna be chatting out my ass about that one. It should have the infinite one-shot headshot, but overall, mono suppressor gives you more range, bullet velocity, keeps you out the radar. Awesome sauce, right? So it's really good. Barrel section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go throw on the gain twist barrel, because this is the best barrel you can have on this thing right now. This gives that increase in your overall bullet velocity. The long barrel is cool, but bullet velocity is trash without like obviously other attachments on it. Like 840 is not good, right? So we want the gain twist barrel. This is gonna be absolutely elite. That's what we really care about here, because we have that infinite, you know, one-shot headshot range. Really, we don't really need to worry as much about the overall damage range on it, but still 97.8 meters, and is great. So we're just gonna go and throw this on there. After that, we're gonna go back in here. Actually, we're gonna go throw on a underbarrel. We're gonna go throw on this lightweight bipod, which is gonna help us out with our aiming idle sway. Really good to stabilize you out when you're kind of, you know, trying to scope in, maybe hold your breath a little bit at those longer distances. Definitely helps out, so I'd recommend for you guys to go for that. After that, we're gonna go back in here to the, whatchamacallit, we're gonna go back into the stock section. My bad, I was about to throw on a rear grip. But we're not doing that. We're gonna go back here and throw on the heavy stock, but keep in mind, if you have it, I'd go for the combat stock. I personally don't have it, but still, like, it's perfectly fine to run this. Just, it helps with your flinch resistance, which everyone knows that's going to get you off target when you start getting shot at. So more flinch resistance you have, the better. The combat stock is going to help you out in a few different ways. So whenever I get that, I'll equip that on there. If you guys have it, go and throw it on there. If you don't have it, don't feel like you're missing out on something, you know, it's going to be, you know, totally loadout changing. The heavy stock is still going to be fine. And lastly, we're going to go into the fire mods, and we're going to go throw on the overpressured rounds, which are going to increase our bullet velocity. This is going to get you out to that beautiful 1207, which is going to make this feel very, very quick. I mean, you can even tell the difference by going to the firing range, having without the rounds on versus with the rounds on, or switching to the long barrel. And like, you can very much so tell the difference, where it feels like literal hit scan versus it actually takes time to get your bullet to go somewhere. So you can, you know, test it out and tell me if you believe me or not. But overall, I think the overpressured and this exact build right here, I mean, this is just a crazy good build. I mean, you're gonna dominate. Next up, after the HDR, I want to give you guys a build here for the CR56 AMAX. This is one of my favorite ARs to use right now, probably the most effective one in the game for overall damage output. Obviously, the Kilo has less recoil, but you can do a whole lot of damage with this AMAX. You can build it out a few different ways too. So I'm gonna show you guys kind of like the more aggressive way to build it out. I shouldn't say aggressive, but like more shorter range. Like maybe the Kilo, you're throwing on that 3 times, 2 times, whatever. We're just gonna throw on the Volzinski. I don't really even go down there and throw on that 2 and 3x. I think this is significantly better, even playing on Verdansk using this reflex. I don't think you guys need to go down there and throw anything else. Muzzle section, we're throwing the compensator here. I would say the mono suppressor is good. However, the AMAX has that jump to it. It's got that kick, and we got to throw in the compensator to really make sure we can hit our shots. It's still gonna have a little bit of kick. Like I said, it's not gonna be a straight laser, but it will be significantly better than having the mono suppressor on there. I'm a really strong player. Like, you know, I do really well in the game, but overall, I think the compensator just makes my life so much easier. It doesn't matter if I got a little bit extra range if I can't hit the extra shots, right? So we wanna throw that on there. Barrel section, we're throwing the gain twist barrel here. We can see our damage at effective range. I mean, 47 meters without needing anything else is great. You can see our bullet velocity is going to be super fast. I mean, this is what makes this gun so effective, apart from the damage profile being absolutely wicked. I mean, good damage at effective range, your shots are going to be doing a lot of damage, and your bullet velocity is really, really fast. So this right here is awesome. You don't need to go throw on that reinforced barrel. You definitely can. It might be a little bit more effective at some distance potentially, but you're going to feel the bullet velocity drop off more than you would notice the damage increase. So I'd go for the gain twist barrel here ultimately. Underbarrel section, we're throwing that vertical foregrip, pretty standard. Don't need to go for anything else on here. And then the magazine, we're gonna go throw on extended mag 2, which is gonna get us 60 rounds in the magazine. So super awesome. I like that quite a bit. If you guys don't want to, you can be running extended mag 1, and that'll get you still the 45, which is the throwback, of course, to the OG AMAX. Nothing like running the OG AMAX build if you really want to. I'm sure you could find like a holographic site to really make an OG AMAX build, but I personally don't really care for that. I just hate having the most effective build, and this right here is going to be that. So go ahead and try this out. All right, last but definitely not least here in today's top 5, I want to give you guys a build here for the KSV, as this can be really, really useful as like a sniper support SMG. So I'll give you kind of more of a build that's geared towards like using it not just strictly in close range, but having a bit of recoil control to it. So this would be a bit different than my normal build for the KSV. So first thing, muzzle. We're gonna throw in the compensator here. This is gonna be really solid to run. Overall, you guys are gonna really notice this. I mean, I think some of the ground loot versions of the KSV or some of the previous ones did. The ground loot right now is absolute garbage, by the way. I know you guys probably out there feel me on that one. Like if you don't, the amount of snipers and random, dumb stuff I find is just unbelievable. Actually, you don't even find a lot of snipers. You just find dumb stuff, shotguns, horrible guns. So we're gonna throw in the compensator here, as this was, one of the best things to pick up off the ground before, I think it's the season 3 update. Barrel section, we're gonna go throw on the long barrel here to increase out our overall damage range. If you want a bit more of that sniper support vibe, throw on the reinforced barrel, as this will still get you to 15.2 meters, but your bullet velocity will be better. So between the long barrel and reinforced, depending on what you're going for sniper support, reinforced. If you still want this to be, really good for close range, don't mind that 575, that's great for close range. That's perfectly fine. You're basically hit scan anyway, so we don't got to worry about that. But if you start using it outside of close range, then you'll start noticing more of that drop off. So reinforce if you're going to be using it more for that, but overall for this, you should be good. Under barrel, we're going to throw in the vertical foregrip here, just because, like I said, this is a bit of a different build than I normally give you guys, just because I want to make sure we're better for those longer range engagements where you might run this with the HDR. And you're like, oh, I need something that's going to be better just outside super close range. Well, this will still give you the ability to extend your range of effectiveness before you got to pull out the sniper. So this will be really good. And then magazine, we're going to go through on extended mag 2 here. Pretty simple. You guys don't really got to do anything with this. Don't got to think about it too much. And then lastly, in the rear grip section, we're going to go through on the commando grip. The only reason being is just because you're not going to be doing a bunch of crazy sliding around. Like you sure can. You'll still be fine. But largely, you might not be just going balls to the wall with this thing. Like you're going to be playing not super aggressive, but not passive either. You're just going to kind of be, I don't even know how to call it, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. You're not like YY cancel, sliding around and bashing through everything, like full sending it. You're playing with, a little bit of patience. So you're going to run the commando grip, which is going to help you just, you're walking around a corner, boom, you get your gun up real quick, or you can even slide around a corner if you want the ergonomic grip. So use either which one, but the commando I think will work a little bit better this particular situation. I hope I communicated that effectively. Probably didn't, but it is what it is. Anyways, this has been today's top 5. You guys enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.